Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything. This is James, but you already knew that. It's in the title, of course. No false advertising here. James drawing everything, drawing every country in the world's flag, lurching ever closer to our cutoff February of 2025 if we do one of these a day, which we have done so far. We're up to page, I think this is page 4 we're almost done with. So we're getting there, and today we're going into the Caucasus region, and we're going to be doing Azerbaijan. All right, so Azerbaijan, it is in the Caucasus, bordering Turkey, Armenia, and they do have a bit of a longer flag, so we're going to start with that. Just getting our lines extended here, and it's a horizontal tricolor flag. So I'm just going to section off where I want the bars to go. And then as I'm doing my my doodling here, we'll give you a little history on Azerbaijan. One of the funnest countries to say that name. I don't know, it just rolls off the tongue, Azerbaijan. All right, so it's majority a Turkish and a Shia Muslim country. They were absorbed into the Russian Empire in the 19th century, kind of like a lot of places in that region. They did achieve independence in 1918. It was a very short-lived independence, though. As you know, that was a bad time if you were bordering the Russian Empire to achieve your independence, because the Soviet Union pretty much gobbled up everything almost right away. So they became part of the Soviet Union, the Azerbaijan SSR, along with Georgia and Armenia, in that region, kind of taken in by the Soviets. And yeah, so just start here. They do have a Turkish inspired flag, so that moon and the star. You see that on a lot of Islamic flags. Azerbaijan, no different. And let's see here. I'm just gonna kind of concentrate doing my moons and my stars. Moons and stars kind of reminds me of something else. And yeah, we'll get to that. Simple flag, you're gonna get bonus content. And the star in the Azerbaijani flag, it does have 8 points on it. And I guess that represents the 8 different tribes of Turkish people. So I'm just gonna do the finer details here with my thin marker first, and then we'll just block in all the rest of those colors with the fatter side of the marker. Okay, so let me just get my eraser here. Make sure that's dry. Okay. And Azerbaijan, you may hear about them. They always kind of have issues with our neighboring Armenia, right? So I always have to try to pronounce this right. It's the Nagorno-Karabakh region. A lot of ethnic Armenians in there, or Armenians, and that causes, that does cause a lot of issues if they're under Azerbaijani rule. So you always kind of hear about hot conflicts, not just simple civil unrest. There are a lot of wars that pop up in that part of the world, and that's this is kind of another James Draws Everything historical talking point. Whenever you set up these kind of phony, what I call phony borders, you end up with a lot of problems once those countries kind of achieve independence and go out on their own. So Azerbaijan, just like all the former Soviet republics, they achieved full independence in 1991 from the Soviet Union, along with I think Georgia and Armenia were also 1991. Azerbaijan was part of a Republic of Turkestan as well, prior to the independence in 1918. Okay, so that part of the world is also kind of getting shook up by World War One, and the Armenian genocide that was carried out by the Turks. Even though the Turks, they still kind of deny that to this day, but it happened. Do I lie? I wouldn't lie to you guys. Yeah, so a lot of Armenians in the area, and again, those borders that were set up for the Republic of Azerbaijan, they were set up by communists, right? So when the Soviet Union took over, they took over. Not, it wasn't just Russians. There was a massive multi-ethnic empire. The Soviet Union was. So a lot of those borders are just basically like administration regions for like the previous communist party bosses. So the Soviet Union was also that was always supposed to be a global thing, right? The Orthodox Marxist-Leninism. If you're familiar with those writings, you know that it was supposed to be a global revolution, the communists. So again, local party bosses, like the party boss of the Armenian, the Azerbaijan, and the Armenian SSRs, it didn't really matter who was living in that country, right? Because nationality was kind of banned during the Soviet times. You couldn't have your own ethnic traditions, folk songs, national symbols, things like that, because you were a global communist. You were not an Azerbaijani or an Armenian citizen. So when that whole house of cards collapses, at the end of the Cold War, a lot of people kind of end up on the wrong side of the fence just due to situational circumstances there. So that is unfortunate, and Azerbaijan, Armenia becoming independent. That's we're over 30 years now, and there's still trouble there. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen there? Who knows what'll happen with the international community in that part of the world? If they decide to intervene and overthrow governments and whatnot. Azerbaijan has pretty much had single-party rule since independence. The man's name was the current president. I think it's pronounced Aliyev, and he was a party boss in the USSR. One of them was. I don't know if I believe a son took over after that, but yeah, so he kind of just transitioned from communist rule into being the leader of Azerbaijan proper, and it's kind of been a struggle ever since. Again, that's a hot spot. A lot of if you look at the CIA travel warnings and stuff, they always tell you to kind of stay out of that area. It's a very similar story to Ukraine. Once the Soviet Union collapsed, you did have a pretty big mess as far as where your people are located, on what side of the fence. So that's Azerbaijan, and then I'm just going to finish off the flag here. And as I'm finishing, the blue stands for the Turkish heritage and the Turkish people. The red stands for modernization and progress, and the green is a color of Islam. Right? And again, Azerbaijan, a Shia Muslim country, but they are secular. Mostly Turkish people. The Turks are they're a lot different than Iran or the Ba'athist and Shia or Sunni Muslim countries that are surrounding them. So kind of a secular Muslim country, sort of hot and cold with the Western world, but for the most part they're part of it. Azerbaijan, maybe not as much as Turkey, but okay. So that's Azerbaijan. And whenever I see one of these flags with the moons and the stars, it always makes me think of something. Always makes me think of something that you might see in the store, in the grocery store, on the shelves. Makes me think of cereal. So let's draw some Azerbaijanios. All right, so you got a big bowl here with your moons and your stars. You got a spoon. And then to keep the color theme, maybe you got some blue moons. Not the beer blue moon, the blue Azerbaijani moon. Maybe some green stars in there. And then we'll do like maybe do like a yellow for the actual, what is it, like the cereal portion. And what would these be? A lot like Lucky Charms, right? These would probably be marshmallows, but or maybe it's like what is the brand, like Oops All Marshmallows, Oops All Stars and Moons. So Azerbaijanos. All right, so we can have a cartoon Turkish guy just loving his breakfast here. Part of your nutritious breakfast, Azerbaijanos. All right, and let's put some nutrition facts on there on the side. And maybe they have a free prize inside. I don't know what it would be, but we'll draw our star over here and our moon. And let's give them a red background. Make the top of the box red. What do you think the free prize would be? I don't want to speculate because I already feel like this bonus content is getting a little too offensive. So put something in the comments. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. You know, here at James Draws Everything, I get in trouble quite often with these countries. But I don't know. I don't think I'm misrepresenting the Azerbaijani flag. You know, would they like this? Who knows? All right. So, yeah, I know. Can often get in a lot of hot water if you if you cross the Islamic world. But we're doing it. We're being respectful, I think. So here's our Turk. We got our moons, our stars, and let's do a little bit of yellow. All right, so it's looks right at home, right up there with your Post and your General Mills products at the grocery store. And so there we go. That's Azerbaijan. That's a box of Azerbaijanios. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.